Welcome back to YouTube. What I got here is a new TXV valve I bought on Craigslist. This is an exact replacement. Cost me 35 bucks on Craigslist. I'm sorry, not Craigslist. I bought it on eBay. So I'm going to change the TXV valve on this just because, well, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. I'm going to do something here that's a little unorthodox for most guys in the HVAC industry. I have a little piece of 5/32 brass tubing here, and this equalizing tube I'm going to separate and I'm going to solder it here in the center because I really don't want to mess with this pipe. I don't want to heat it up, and I don't want to take a chance of blowing a big hole in it. So just to be safe, I'm going to cut the pipe somewhere around here, and we're going to couple it with a brass tube here. And this, by the way, here's a piece of scrap. I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but 5/32 fits around this cap tube pretty good, so fits inside of it. And I just really only need to use soft solder on that. So no nitrogen, no nothing, even though this thing is still charged with 120 pounds of nitrogen. I'm going to loosen it up, and I'm going to take it out. Put the new one in, join this up. The bulbs here, I'm not going to install the new bulb until I get this thing brazed in, up in the ceiling and brazed in. So I'll hook the camera up, I'll put it on a tripod as I'm doing this, but you're really not going to see much. I'm just going to install the new one, do as I said I was going to do, and then I'm going to repressurize it, make sure I have no leaks. Much easier to do this while it's down here on the floor in the garage than to be messing with it up in the ceiling there, 14 feet in the air. So, and I don't trust the TXV. I don't know what the guy did when he uninstalled this. I don't know how much heat he put on this, or if he protected it, or what. So I'm not going to take the chance. So that's what I'm going to be doing here for the next half an hour or so. Welcome back, YouTube. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut that capillary tube, equalization tube, and what we're going to do is we're not going to use a pipe cutter or anything like that because it just crushes the end of the pipe or the end of the tubing. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it or slice it with a Dremel tool, cut-off wheel there, and we're going to cut it at an angle so that we maximize the surface area where the hole is. If you're following me, so let me do that, and maybe we can get a shot of it close up. Now, I do have this system still under pressure, so when I cut the tube, it'll be under pressure, and whatever metal filings or anything that that's might fall back into the tube, I don't think it would ever be a problem. But if there are any, they should get blown out by the nitrogen. So let's do it. Get on my saddle here, my seat, and I'm right-handed, so hopefully you'll see what I'm doing here. But this is the tube we're talking about, right here, and I'm going to cut it right around here. Okay. And plenty of nitrogen coming out of there. All my nitrogen. But you can see the hole is clear. And this, of course, we're not going to use anymore. This is part of the old TXV. Nothing coming out of there, but all of it's coming out of this end of the cap tube here. Okay, I'll shut the camera down until bleed this whole thing down. We're going to clean the tube up, with some sandpaper, prep it for soldering. But first we got to get the new TXV valve in here. And then of course I'll be attaching this again, a new tube on a new TXV. This time around, this one was silver soldered on, or brazed on. Next time around, let me see, I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing right now, but this tube right here. Let's see if, well, it's blocked. Hold on a second. This tube, camera over a little bit so you can see. If you've been watching the video, you know this tube is in here. As I silver soldered it in before, this allows me to pressurize it. This other tube in here, the 7/8 or 3/4, whatever you want to call it, that's brazed in there, and a cap was soft soldered in. So this comes out with the TXV valve, so I'll be soft soldering a new fitting in there so that I can repressurize this. Let me shut this down and I'll prep for that. Okay, YouTube, I'm going to take the TXV valve out of there, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me move it over. The bulb has a band clamp around it. It's relatively loose, so, but it has this band clamp around it. The new one doesn't come with a band clamp. It comes with a screw type clamp. But I did notice that the pipe is indented for the bulb, so that's a good thing. I have to clean that area up, and then when I put the new bulb on. But I will not install the new bulb until this thing is up in the ceiling and I've already brazed on the suction tube. We don't want to damage the new bulb. I'm going through this whole exercise because I'm not sure if the quote pro that uninstalled it protected the put any wet rags or anything on it to protect the bulb when he removed the system. So I'll be doing that. All right, let me get this TXV valve out of here. No nitrogen in here anymore, so let's get this fitting off of here. It's a 5/8 and a 13/16. Takes this thing out of here. 5/8 and 13/16. This is a carrier air handler. Okay, we got TXV loose. It was just a brass connection. I'm not sure how this clamp comes off of here. I'll probably just try to it looks like a steel clamp. There's no screw on it or anything that I can see, so factory installed. I'll probably just cut it out of there. And then this TXV will be out of here. So I'll do that in a minute. I'll shut this down. You don't need to see that. Oh, sorry about that. I got to putting that thing in there and forgot to turn the camera on. The only thing I have left to do right now, well, you didn't miss much anyway, you just screw the thing in and bolt it, tighten the flare nut down. Only thing I got right now to do is this. You can see I've got the brass on one end. I don't know if you can see. I'm looking here. No, you can't see. So over here. There you go. Just got to do this right here, and on the TXV valve, I got to solder a new fitting in so that I can pressurize this thing. It's just got a black cap on it right now. You can see right there. And then I can pressurize it, and hopefully I don't have any leaks, and I can move on. I did not, as I said, I got the bulb position around where it should be, but it's not clamped down, and I won't clamp it down until I braze this fitting, the suction line, when it's up in the ceiling. And hopefully that won't be too long from now, because I'm closing in fast here. I just got one more plenum to build up in the attic, and then I should be able to go off and rent the machine. And once I rent the machine, I'll be almost finished. Okay, welcome back, YouTube. Your viewing pleasure. Let me see if I can get a position here. We're going to solder the capillary tube there, equalization tube, and we're going to do the redo this tubing here. Hopefully I got enough gas, propane, to get through both of these. I hope so. I am using Stay Bright number 8 silver solder. I'll do it on this fitting first. Like I said, hopefully I got enough propane in here. We got it now. Let's see if we can get this soldered without burning any plastic here. I love soft solder. Soft solder is the easiest. Now this, we shouldn't have too much trouble with this. It's flowing. Alright, I think that's got it. I've got some excess solder on the bottom, but I don't care. As long as it's not leaking, I really don't care about the excess solder on the bottom. This side here has got some solder hanging off the bottom there. It's onto the aluminum. This aluminum is hot. I'll let that let that cool down. Gotta let it cool down. And I'll get back to you when it cools down and we can hook. Welcome back, YouTube. I got my nitrogen bottle connected up. Did some testing here. It's about 115 pounds right now. And I think it's holding. No problem. Fucking unbelievable. Alright, anyway. I'm happy this thing is holding pressure. So, I got a new TXV valve in there. And like I said, I didn't mount the bulb. The bulb's loose. Right here. And I'll tie it down a little bit, but, you know, so nothing breaks when I'm moving the cabinet around. But we're in business now. We got a new TXV. We got a coil that doesn't leak. We got a condenser that doesn't leak. And we're in business.